In Expert, the infected are strong. In Versus, the infected are smart. Some of the advice that's more of a suggestion in co-op modes is the standard in Versus. Too many times I've seen an otherwise strong survivor player get caught out in Versus because they're planning for likely scenarios instead of what's arguably the worst case. You have to understand, this is not an AI in a 16-year-old game. This is another player, and they probably have an idea of how, when, and where to ruin your day, and they won't waste any time walking up to you all dumb-like. The way this most often comes up is when people split up. Normally it's rather harmless to stray away from your team for a bit because enemy spawns and attacks are not very consistent, but in Versus, like I said, players are controlling all the special infected except the witch, so it can quickly become your downfall because once most special infected hit you, you usually need a teammate's help to get free again. Everyone has a role in this. Fire and explosions might be able to save you, but they probably won't. So in essence, stay where you can be covered. Generally, this just means staying close to your teammates and maintaining line of sight. Yes, your teammates might have longer range weapons, so distance won't be much of a problem, but don't presume it. Actually look at what your teammates are holding before you go a mile away from them. And yes, your teammates might be able to shoot through a wall to save you, but there are terms and conditions. If there are 2 walls in the way, they can't do it. Also consider if the wall is thin enough for it to work, and do your teammates even know what a wallbang is? Will they realize the opportunity exists? There's not really any way to know this other than prior observation of how well your teammates play. Hanging right near the edge of where you can be covered is also not very good and will probably turn out the same as if you were in a bad place the entire time. On the flip side, some players create a problem by covering poorly, if at all. Be aware of how bullet spread works. Your accuracy is decreased when moving and increased when crouching, much like Counter-Strike but not quite as intense. Target the infected in an order that makes some kind of sense. Trying to shoot specials that are more than a few meters away is mostly a fruitless endeavor if commons are swarming you and knocking your aim every which way. A witch who's actively attacking is more important than a spitter who's already spat. A smoker choking someone who is close to going down is more important than a charger hitting someone who is down but not close to dying. Usually poor cover comes from people who are running ahead of their teammates unnecessarily. Most of the same points apply with slightly different wording. Do not assume your teammates are right behind you. Actually turn around, look at them, and count to 3. If you're going to whine to me that this is babysitting, you are the baby. Do also recall that being on low health causes you to move slower. This is how the game works. So when you run 50 meters ahead, take 3 seconds to notice somebody got attacked, and then another 3 seconds to save them. Do not act surprised when they have to take 5 seconds to use a health kit. This is your fault. Many of these players try to argue that you have to rush to get hit less. There is a tiny bit of truth in this. The faster you move through the level, the fewer times the infected can hit you, so you do want to move quickly, but not to the detriment of literally everything else. Do not go left on No Mercy sewers. Some people take running ahead to an extreme and resolve to fully leave their teammates behind just because. This is a form of griefing, and I think the people who do this must understand that it is, because they usually disconnect the moment they get caught by an infected. If you abandon your team, you have earned the kick, and if you are on a team with such a player, you should kick them as fast as possible to minimize the damage they can do. Players who are full-on rushing ahead can spawn tanks or start events early, which is obviously not good. Knowing when to kick someone is a skill. Be extra suspicious of people who throw out a pointless vote. This is a common tactic to delay getting kicked. Everyone should vote no on that vote as soon as possible so it goes away sooner. But the name of the game is Left 4 Dead. Yeah, so don't make it Left 3 Dead. While it is satisfying to see a rusher get what they deserve, it's actually better for the infected to let a rusher go. Rushers usually won't suffer too greatly for their bad play, aside from getting kicked. They're usually mechanically skilled enough that they can slip around SI in isolation, so you'll probably need to devote more than one spawn to attacking them. Even if they do get caught, killing someone from around full health is about 400 damage, so there's a good chance their team will catch up and save them. Again, the kill usually only happens when 2 or more infected are attacking at the same time. Even if they do get killed, they might just get revived by a defibrillator. As for the survivors who are left behind, well, they've been left behind. The rusher or rushers are probably not coming back to help them. The players who are abandoned may as well be a team with one or more players who have died. They're easier to attack, they will necessarily take longer to save each other, and since there could only be 3 of them at most, a well-coordinated attack can instantly spell all of their deaths. Not only does rushing make the rest of the team more vulnerable, it also makes them more valuable to kill, because killing someone earlier in the level means they get fewer distance points. Now, there is such a thing as running ahead because the situation is not reasonably salvageable and your best option is to just run as far as you can to get more distance points. This is valid, but if your read on the situation is wrong, people will see this as you abandoning the team for no reason. So here's my advice on when you should run for points. Do not run for points. You'll almost never be in a situation where this is the right call, and if you are, something has already gone very wrong. People vastly overestimate how many points they'll get by running away, so here are some visualizations of how far one person has to travel on different maps to get 25 distance points. And let's look at the unrealistic, best normally possible scenario. Most finale maps are 800 distance points, so the most you could possibly get on your own is 225 points. That's if 3 people died at the start and you made it all the way to the end on your own. Is that going to win you the game? Probably not. If you do have to run, at least stick the landing. There is an exploit infected might use to get in the safe house and rob you of your completion bonus. To prevent this from happening, you need to stay near the door to block their spawns. A charger might charge into the door to knock you back, which may push you far enough away from the door to allow them to spawn. You can avoid being knocked back by jumping continuously. Infected can also spawn outside the safe house before you approach and sneak in, and this prevents the level from ending until you kill them, so clear the room as well. Getting hit is a normal part of the game. It's not about the fact you were attacked, it's about how quickly it was dealt with. It's everyone's job to cover each other and be easy to cover. It's not necessarily a player's fault for taking a lot of damage, and it's not necessarily the fault of the rest of the team. It can be both and it can be neither. None of this is black and white, and just like how high damage on infected does not mean you're playing well, having high health does not make you a good survivor.